You good? Huh. All right, y'all good. Because it's episode 75 of the Five Aside Podcast. First full pod of 2025, episode 75. Who am I joined by today?
What's going on, guys? Seb here.
What's good, y'all? Gabriel?
Kendrick.
Yes. Lots to talk about since we had a full podcast. Ton of things going on in all the big leagues. We got title race drama in Spain. We got Liverpool running away with it in England. We got one of the wildest stories ever in Serie A that we're going to talk about. Bundesliga has always got some very interesting transfers and burgeoning stars that are heading elsewhere. We're heading into the UCL. Neymar might be going to Santos. So a lot of things that we will cover for you all. But first, for our question of the week, I believe this is from you, Kendrick. We have predictions for our clubs. So what do we think our clubs will be winning this year? Who do we think they're going to sign? And how are we feeling about our teams about halfway through the season?
I could start.
Go ahead. Nice little dub today, you know what I'm saying?
You know, a little 3-1 win over Wolves today. I think we're going to finish in third or fourth place this year. I'm predicting fourth place. Sneakily sneak our way into the Champions League next season. I think we will definitely win Conference League.
I have to.
That would be a nice little trophy to throw into our cabinet.
Yep.
Just like build upon the season. I think I think we have the youngest team in the Premier League by a long way, and so this will be a season where a lot of players just kind of got their wet, build their confidence going season.
And signing? Other than Estaval, who is already signed, which is dope.
There's the word on the street is that we're trying to get Garnacho, which
really I saw him linked to Serie A too, right? Yeah, Napoli. I like that for Kvara, but go ahead.
I don't think we need another winger.
No, nigga, you have every winger in the league. Like, no.
I don't think you need anybody, really.
No, we need a 9. Arguably.
A better 9 would be huge. A better 9 would be huge, but keeper maybe 2 today. That was a weird little fumble he had.
He
a little cooked. Yeah.
On my wish list is obviously, what's his name?
Magic Mike? Okay.
But I don't know if that's good.
All right.
We'll see.
Seb, AC Milan, you had a weird thing with the new coach, won the Supercopa over your rivals, come back, all that, and then Serie A is just not looking too good.
Yeah, we're in our banter era again, which,
it
is what it is.
Yeah.
I think we'll finish 6th. It means that I'm at the point where I'm watching games with my brother and I'm being like, well, I know we're bad, but he's good, which is when I start saying that singular players are good, I know that we're in trouble.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we'll finish 6th, maybe 7th. I think we'll do well. In
I know Milan has to be higher.
I know, but
it's AC Milan.
First, second,
6, maybe 7.
First, second, and third are already picked up. Napoli, Inter, Atalanta. That's for sure.
I told you Juve would be alright, even though they tie every game.
Juve are okay. It's more so Fiorentina.
Yeah,
that's doing really well this season.
Yeah,
and then it's Roma as well, and Lazio as well. So we'll probably be in that mix, 6th, maybe 7th.
As AC Milan is crazy.
No.
Do you think AC Milan has lost a little bit? Well, I think it has, I should say. I think AC Milan has lost a little bit of its ability to want to be the destination for the best players in the world. And I think that's some of the issues.
No, I don't think so.
Because even when Barca was shit, like I knew they would still get certain guys, even Man United to some extent.
No, it has nothing.
And I actually, like, if I could pick someone to win it, I would say AC Milan. Like, I like AC Milan. But I feel like a little bit of that, because if you're younger, you didn't grow up seeing AC Milan the same way, because it's been such sustained lack of success besides the Scudetto in like 2021.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that AC Milan has a lack of pull. I still think that AC Milan has pull.
No, they definitely have pull. I just think a little less, personally. That's all.
Maybe, but I think it's more so that we don't have the money.
It's fair too.
I would be curious. I think if we had the same bread to throw at players, I think we would be able to pull just as much as top clubs. Because Italian clubs just don't have bread like that.
For those who don't know, if you see a chart of the Prem's money versus the other top 5 leagues, the gap is insane.
I still think prestige-wise, AC Milan.
No, it's up there for sure.
3 or 4 in the world.
Sure. Amazing city, amazing stadium, amazing rap. Yeah, of course. So
I don't know. Big signing. I'm hoping that we can pick up the Swedish guy in Portugal, Gyökeres. That could
Gyökeres. Oh, I thought you were gonna say Isak, the other Swedish guy.
No, Isak is. I don't think Isak fits our game.
Okay.
He's good. He's good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, come on.
With Leao and or a little Rashford vibe.
Yeah.
The Rashford vibe could be fun, but I think if we
as a 9 though, I feel like Gyökeres could be better for y'all.
We're gonna get Kyle Walker, which is weird because it's just gonna be another left back for me to yell at. But
right back,
yeah.
That's a good pickup. Nice, that's his his Unk era might be fire though.
Yeah. 34.
No, his Unk era might be fire.
He's nice though.
Yeah, he's still athletic.
I think he'll fuck up.
I think someone was saying the City intensity at 34 is a bit much to keep up with, but in a second wave at a new team to end the last few years, I mean, he's one of the best right backs in the
English
Premier
reports
League.
were saying he's doing it to save his marriage, which, like, I don't want you to come to my club to save your marriage. I'd rather that not be the headline, but
that might make him happy there.
you know,
And play better.
This is the second player that
happy wife, happy life.
Saved his marriage. Morata did the same thing this summer.
Bro, Valentine's Day is coming up. Happy wife, happy life, man.
It's weird to see players come into your club for their love life. Like,
Milan is a way better city than Manchester. Sorry. But anyways.
Yeah.
Got you.
How about yourself?
I'll be quick. Real Madrid, I think we'll win La Liga.
Okay.
I don't think we'll win the Champions League. I think it's very hard to have won 3 in the last 4.
Right.
I think we just need a little bit more stability in midfield, maybe next season. I think we'll do pretty good, maybe quarterfinals, whatever. We also, like, at one point, it's okay to not win the Champions League if you're Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Copa del Rey, I think we could sneakily win it, but I'd probably guess we'll get to like the semifinals, put up a good fight. But yeah, win La Liga, semifinals, Copa del Rey, solid UCL run, but throw your hands up like you can't win it every year. Right. New signing would be Trent at right back. Mm-hmm. I think it's the perfect timing to move on from Carvajal. He could, especially with the injury, the age and everything, Madrid always knows when to move on. And actually, allegedly, Ancelotti's getting ready to this is now, I think it's going to be his last season officially, which I think makes sense because I think Xabi Alonso, they are going to make sure that happens.
Yeah.
So originally he had 1 more year on his contract, but before this season, I always thought it made more sense just do 1 more year after the UCL La Liga win of last year, win La Liga, be out, maybe another UCL. But yeah, so hopefully new coach Xabi Alonso and then Trent at right back. Maybe a left back too, Alphonso Davies. There's rumors on too. And I don't want Ancelotti out, but if he feels like he wants to leave, time is always right. And then Xabi. I want the next coach to be Xabi whenever that happens. That's my thing. So, yeah, that's what I'm feeling.
Cool.
All right. But speaking of our teams, a lot going on within all of our leagues. We're going to do a quick little run through. Starting off in England, is the title race over? Liverpool are in first place. They came up with a huge 2-0 win away to, I believe, Brentford. 2 late goals from Darwin Nunez, who hasn't scored in much recently. And that's the title winning, like, damn, right when they were supposed to drop points, they get the win.
Exactly.
Arsenal up 2-0 at home.
Exactly.
Drop the 2 goals, draw 2-2, drop the 2 points, just as they lost to Aston Villa at home last year. And it just feels like Arsenal's just born for second place. That's how it feels to me in this current thing.
Arsenal is good for nothing.
And the thing is, without Saka too, I have no faith in them to put on some crazy run to then catch Liverpool. City just won 6-0. They're starting to pick up a little bit of steam. But let me check the distance because the distance is bad.
It's probably like 10 points.
I think it's more. Liverpool is in first place with 50 points. They are 6 ahead of Arsenal with a game in hand. And they are 12 points ahead of Man City with a game in hand.
12 is too much.
With a game in hand. So it could be 15. I think the title race is over.
Good for them, man.
Yeah.
Good for Arne. Good for Arne.
No, it is. Shout out him. That's a crazy way to leave Klopp and then.
Good for him.
Yeah.
They haven't been annoying about it. So
No.
I don't mind it.
I'm not mad at it.
I think Nottingham Forest still has a chance.
That could be fun.
They are tied on points with Arsenal, so also 6 points behind. Liverpool has a game in hand.
Nottingham Forest hasn't lost a game in
They're cooking.
That's your team right now?
Huh?
Those are your people right now.
Yeah.
I like them too. As a neutral, though.
Chelsea's second team.
Yeah, it's true.
Like all Chelsea players.
As a neutral, too, how could you not root for Nottingham Forest?
Yeah.
I'd love to see them at least make top 4.
Yeah.
But that would mean the top 4 would not be Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, City. So one of those 4 would have to be out of it if Nottingham makes it. So that's going to be a big fight. I think it's over. A couple other teams in the Prem that are not doing so well, so the exact opposite of Liverpool. Man United are sitting in 13th place.
Yeah.
And Tottenham are in 15th place.
No, so they'd be second. I did say.
Bro, like, I wasn't even going that way, but you did say they would finish second. Bro, they're in 15th place.
Hey, man.
They have 12 losses in the Prem this year.
Yeah.
They have more losses than wins and draws put together.
Sometimes
15th.
And you're wrong. And
bro, actually what needs to happen? Is it standard changing? Is it coach? Like these clubs is like, I almost can't believe it, bro.
Tottenham plays good, like enjoyable
they can't
to watch.
Defend anything.
It's so fun to watch.
They can't defend anything,
defensively,
bro.
it's weird.
Everton scored 3. Bro, hold on.
That's how you.
Everton scored 3 on them, bro.
Yeah, I know.
That's so stinky.
They're now the team that, like, when
They
you're
were down
lacking
3-0.
confidence as a striker, you get your confidence back against Tottenham. Dom Calvert-Lewin, I know y'all know him. Remember, he's like big into fashion.
Damn.
He's been struggling
You said
recently.
they're a confidence booster.
They are. Dom Calvert-Lewin, bro. He's really been struggling. That's how he got his confidence back,
You
scoring
said
against Tottenham.
Strikers can't wait to.
Bro, they're in 15th place.
I know.
Yeah.
And I'm actually not a Tottenham hater or anything, bro. I don't have a Prem team. Like, I'm like, damn, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
United is the bigger surprise for me.
Yeah.
Like,
Why?
I think they have the right coach, though. I do think they have the right coach.
Based on what do you think?
bro,
Based
they
on what?
think
Sporting
about- think
Lisbon,
about-
his
No, based on
vision.
now, like based on what he's been able to do.
Well, first off, I saw some content creators with Man United say get rid of everyone besides Ahmad. I'm pretty similar to that assessment because once he came in, I did start watching United a little bit.
Get rid
keep-
of everyone.
Not literally. I mean, that's emotional fans.
Sure.
But like, I think Ruben, you have to let him pick from the current crop of players.
Right.
These are the guys I'm gonna ride with because one thing he wants more than anything is just fight.
Right.
These are the guys I'm gonna ride with, which is Ahmad plus whoever else, Kobe, obviously, shit like that.
Right.
Let him get the signings he needs. We know Man United has mad money.
Yeah,
and then see how they do next season. They should at least be top 6. That's how you judge Ruben. He walked into a shitstorm.
Yeah, it's true.
He walked into a shitstorm. So I'm not throwing it on him.
Why are we saying he walked into a shitstorm? They got all these star signings over
That he didn't sign.
over the summer. They brought in Euro, the French dude. They brought in
He got
Xerxes.
cooked.
They brought in
You saw the
Xerxes.
video of
Yes,
Euro
bro.
get cooked.
Yes,
Oof.
they brought in Xerxes. They brought in
Yeah.
Ugarte.
Yeah.
They brought in all these dudes that was supposed to like
rally
revamp
for
the team.
Yeah.
Supposed to.
Not to mention Bruno in the middle, Garnacho, like
Yeah.
already established.
But those are names.
Kobe Mainu. No, but they're like, bro, I had this argument the other day with my coworker. They were like, oh, these are just like name players, big name. I'm like, these are World Cup. They have World Cup winners on their team, bro.
Who won the World Cup?
Fucking Martinez.
Facts. The butcher. No, that's right.
You know
That's
what
right.
I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like,
Facts, yeah.
my point
No,
is
they don't have bad. They should not be in 13th place. I'm not
Bro,
saying they should be in
their
13th place.
team is
No way.
full of World Cup
They should be
players.
way
Like-
better.
Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
And it's the lack of fight.
People are
It's the lack
making
of fight.
excuses like, oh, they're just like big name players. I'm like, that's a bad thing, bro.
No, it
the
is.
fact that that's how low.
I'm not making an excuse for United. I'm saying for the coach, he walked into this same group of players who don't want to play for United is the vibe that are not fighting.
I don't know.
I think he's slowly
with that-
turning. I think he's slowly turning it, but it is still pretty bad. Because then they had the draw against Liverpool. They advanced past Arsenal in the FA Cup. Like they have these moments in these big games, beating Man City with the Ahmad crazy game. We did the watch party for it, but then they lose. They lost at home to Brighton, and we're just not even surprised.
I feel like the matches that you lose to the weak teams,
It means
are a
one, yeah.
signifier of poor management.
It's true.
Like when you have those,
Yeah.
when you have those big game wins, like the win against Arsenal, that's
Especially
the
at
players.
Yeah, no, I know. At home
A
is
man
bad. It's bad.
down like against Arsenal and the FA, like that's
Yeah.
that's the players stepping up and fighting.
Yeah.
But like the matches that you can't manage to get points from against like the bottom
Yeah.
half of the table, that's poor management, bro. Like,
Oh, you're saying the coach?
Well, they
Yeah.
are
Okay.
the bottom half of the table.
yeah, but you know what?
Yeah. Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? Though.
Yeah.
I think it's too early to judge him.
Compatriots.
He needs to. I'll say this. He does need to have an upward trajectory heading into next season for sure. But I do think if they give him the right couple years, he gets the signings he wants. I think he will start putting United back towards the direction they need to go. I don't know if he's going to win the Prem with them in 3 years and then bring them back to what we saw in 08 with Ronaldo and all that. But I think he can be. He's the first manager I've seen of United, probably since Mourinho, that I have any true faith in. Again, I'm not a United fan. This is just outside looking in. And maybe I just like Portuguese accents because I'm Portuguese too. I don't know if I can know.
He's a bit not as in, he's another Man United manager that doesn't seem to really understand British media though.
Yeah.
He's such a nice guy. And like,
He's a bit too like vocal. Like
what he said last time, they're the worst team of all time.
They lost to Brighton. And he was like, "I'm starving for leaders in this squad." No one asked you that, my friend.
Yeah.
He also said they're the worst.
He said they're the worst Manchester United team of all time. But he was saying it to like give them a headline.
What?
He said that, yeah, he said that to give them a headline though.
After
He's like, you guys want your headline? Well, you know, this is the worst Manchester United team of all time. There goes your headline. Like he said that.
the biggest surprise to me though has been Amad Diallo. I obviously heard of him before this season, but
Yeah.
like, watching him literally put the team on his shoulders,
It's actually crazy.
like he's actually their savior, bro.
That's a Gasparini product though. That's Atalanta
I was
product.
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
ask, do y'all know like his story?
Good story.
He was with United before going to Atalanta.
Yeah, yeah.
Then he went to Serie A to revive his career, as so many people do when they leave the Prem.
I believe he was
Now he's come back and been. He also spent some time at Celtic too.
But
He's been moving
He's
around.
Ivorian.
And he's
Before
Ivorian.
that, he was like, there's a whole scandal in like 2020 about how he got trafficked into like Italy.
What?
This is very possible.
Yeah, like it was him and another player with the last name Chari, and they like both played for this club in like near Abidjan, or how you say it?
Yeah, Abidjan.
Abidjan. and like apparently this guy who is like was part of that club in Ivory Coast like trafficked Diallo. Trafficked is like a criminalized term, but he brought them to Italy
illegally.
Under illegal.
Yeah, and they were playing for like I guess a smaller club in Italy, and then they got caught by the FA because they were like, or the Italian Footballing Association, and they were basically like, oh, like we don't think you guys are actually like related because the guy who brought them over was saying that he's their father.
Okay,
and so they made them take a DNA test.
Oh wow,
and figured out that like they're not father and son.
That's crazy.
But like by this time, he was already playing for like Atalanta. He was already like making moves. He was about to make a move to United, and so like it just got a fine. But apparently, like I was just reading up on it earlier today. Apparently, it was like a big scandal. Like
that's crazy.
5 years ago,
I did not know about all that.
Wow.
And now he's over here like
saving
the whole
him,
fan base.
Bro. Yeah, what he did to City too, because we had the watch party for it, and the reaction to people around, like that was crazy. That was unbelievable. Shout out him. And then the hat trick he just did last minute to save them against last place Southampton.
By himself, bro.
Yeah,
by himself.
Any words of encouragement for Tottenham? They could win. They could win the Carabao Cup. They beat Liverpool in the first leg 1-0, but now they have to go to Anfield. Is there any hope for Tottenham?
Any words?
Is there any hope?
From a Chelsea fan? No, fuck them. Button them.
I wish them well, man. I like them.
I think, listen, you're in London. You have phenomenal stadium, phenomenal facilities. The owner helped bridge that gap.
Yeah.
It's just time for new ownership. You get new ownership. You do the right marketing. I think they can get back to being a solid, consistent top 4-ish team. Yeah, I got to figure that out, though.
Yeah, we can move on.
The Kane era, they got second place, shit like that. You know, they were better than Arsenal for a few years. They were.
They almost won the league.
Yeah.
That was the year they should have won.
They did well in Champions League, too.
Speaking about winning the league, Real Madrid are now back to the top of La Liga, 2 points ahead of Atletico, 7 points ahead of Barcelona. And I'm going to keep it short, but it goes to show a couple things. One, you don't judge a player off of their first few games. Two, you don't win a league title in October. It's a fact.
Okay.
All that smoke about, all this talk about Mbappe, this, whatever. Second top goal scorer.
Okay, but
he's got 18 goals and 4 assists in 30 matches, despite the slow start. They're in first place. They're in contention in all the major trophies. Like, the over-dramatization of those first few games was so unnecessary.
I have a question for
you.
It
was so unnecessary. Go ahead.
Do you feel like Mbappe only has these big performances against small clubs?
No, he scored against Barcelona. A great goal.
Yeah, but like, he got shitted on it.
There's nothing to do with him. He's also the same guy as a hat trick in a World Cup final.
No, I'm not talking about France in the World Cup final. I'm talking about...
And he scored a big goal against Atalanta too, which we desperately needed for our Champions League season to win that game away to a streaking first place Atalanta at the time. And he scored before he got hurt.
You recall.
Massive goal there. And when he did score too, it's not like he scored a bullshit goal against Barca. It was to give us the lead. And I actually saw it and I just, oh shit, I got to tune into the game. I thought it was an hour later and then we got cooked. No, he scored mad important goals for us. Yeah, for sure.
I feel like...
And he's scoring every game now too.
And I like Mbappe. I'm not trying to shit on him.
Yeah.
But I feel like from what I've seen from him, those like star performances come out when he's playing against like...
To be fair, the star performances... Yeah, the team that beat Barcelona, by the way.
Sure.
But to be fair, the now it's not just the goals; it's the way he's playing is completely different. And it's really been the last 10 games. He hasn't really had an opportunity in the last 10 games to show out against teams of that quality because we haven't faced them yet. Now it's going to be how do you do against Barca in the second matchup? How do you do against Atleti the rest of the Champions League? But no, since he hit rock bottom, like he said when he missed that penalty against Bilbao in the game we lost. Yeah, he said, maybe I just need to hit rock bottom. His mindset has completely switched.
Respect.
So shout out, bro. Mbappe he's always going to find a way. He just reached also 300 club goals already too at 26.
That's fire.
That's a lot of goals. So shout out him. But speaking of La Liga, we do have La Liga Fantasy as well.
Yes, we do. So basically, guys, of course, it's 2025. It's a new year. And so we are going to be rearranging our fantasy clubs. All of you guys, all the fans, you guys have the opportunity to join our fantasy league. Everyone watching, you can join the Five-A-Side Fantasy League. But as the year begins, we're going to ask each other to pick 3 players that we want to center our team around into the new year. So one big player from a club that is a top tier. So one big player from a top tier club. One big player from a club that is kind of like hovering in the middle to high European spots, and then one young star that we're really interested in having on our squads. So I don't know if if any of you guys can start with your one big player, and then we can kind of go around.
Start.
Go ahead.
Can't go without Lamine Yamal in your fantasy
all right, good
squad.
pick, good pick.
Yep.
At the end of the day, he's arguably the most exciting player to watch in La Liga right now. And the beautiful thing about him is that he might give you an assist, or he might give you a goal, or he might give you both. He's one of the few players in the league right now that's consistently doing both. And so if you're looking for points, that's a good bet.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, for my big player, I'll go with Kylian Mbappe. The form that he's in right now is honestly second to none. I think the way that he's rising up the top scorer charts, now moving up to second place with 12 goals in La Liga, he's only going to be going more and more up with that, especially as they're now firmly in first place for the first time in quite some time within the title race. So I expect a lot more goals from him. He's healthy. He's playing with supreme confidence. He also looks more likely to get assists now too because of how much damage he's doing on the ball, right? Even though he's playing at 9, you find him on the left, you find him on the right, the counterattacks, everything. So I think Mbappe will definitely give you a ton of stats, and maybe he'll lead fantasy points for the rest of the season, honestly. So
for me, my big player has to be Antoine Griezmann.
great one.
Low-key, one of the most underrated players of all time. He'll give you points both in goals and assists the entire year, and he's also fun to watch. He's actually just like we were talking about eye test players the other week. He is a insanely talented player. He scored a goal the other week where he spun it, turned, found his footing, then found the ball, got on his balance, and scored. I think he's just like, the other thing about fantasy is you also want to watch the players that you have.
Yep.
And having Griezmann makes me want to tune in every week. So
Natural footballer for sure.
What's like a mid-tier club like star that you guys want on your teams?
In terms of like a player that's producing for a mid-table club, I'm gonna have to go with Ante Budimir at Osasuna. I think Osasuna, they had a strong start to the season, and a big part of that was Budimir bagging goals. He has 10 goals in the season so far. He's proven that he can get on the score sheet at any time. And so if you're looking for a sneaky player to pick up on your fantasy team, I would suggest
Seb?
For me, Jose Perez. 8 goals this season with Villarreal. Doing his best. Last year he was at Betis, also cooking.
Yep.
There was that push like right before the Euros where he was really trying to get that spot, and I was kind of following Betis last season, just like seeing how week in, week out he was bagging in those goals. He's getting older now, but still he's one of those like legacy players that I think we'll remember for a long time as like one of those streets can't forget La Liga players.
Yep.
And so for me, I think someone that I also want to have in my club. You got to spend credits wisely.
Yep.
Jose Perez for sure.
I'm gonna go with another one. I'm gonna go with another player from Villarreal, his teammate Alex Baena. So he has 5 goals and 5 assists this season. He's been really, really good for both club and country overall recently. And then last year he finished La Liga with 14 assists. So I think he's somebody who's gonna be another high producer. Villarreal's in very good form. They just won today actually 4-0 with 4 goals coming in 8 minutes. So the offense is definitely high powering, and I think you're going to get a lot of value for that sort of pick. He's proven that in terms of fantasy, you want those tangible stats. So it's things like goals, things like assists. He's doing both of those. Again, 14 assists last season. This year now 5 goals and 5 assists. So his goal scoring total is going up, and I expect him to reach a similar assist tally. So I think he's a really good bang for your buck, Alex Baena.
Young Gem?
I'm definitely going to have to go with Take Kubo from Real Sociedad.
Scored a great goal the other day to beat Villarreal, actually. Yeah.
Over the last couple of years, he's proven to be another young, exciting star in the league. He's kind of cemented himself in the Sociedad team as their key player at match in and match out. Mm-hmm. He's struggling a little bit this season to pick up assists, but he is getting on the score sheet. Predict that over the course of the rest of the season, as Sociedad continues to improve and climb up the table, he's going to be able to bag some more goals and assists and get some points.
For me, my young gem, Thierry Berry, Frenchman, also in Villarreal.
Villarreal's got a great offense, I just gotta say.
It's fun, like
it's great, bro.
Fun to watch. And for me, like one of the things at the end of the day, I play fantasy a little weird, but like I kind of like to have players on one club because then I get to pick a club that I get to watch for the season because it's tough to watch every game. So if you can stack up, Jose Perez, Berry, that's a good little combination right there. He's incredibly talented, and he's showing a lot of skills this season. So I think being able to watch Perez, who's a little bit older, Berry, who's a little bit younger on the squad, could be really fun. And it's a good use of credits.
Yeah.
Because they're not too expensive.
Similarly, I'm going to go with 2 young stars, and I'm actually going to go with defenders this time on rivals. So Alejandro Balde on Barcelona at the left back position. You'll definitely see him bombing up and down that left wing. Obviously, he's working within an offense of Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, so you can look at him to start contributing a little bit more in assists and potentially goals as well. Not to mention, of course, he gets points for if they're able to keep clean sheets. So I think he could be a sneaky pick at left back, only 21 years old. And then Raul Asensio as well, who's definitely going to be a very good value. I think he should now look to be a much more consistent starter for Real Madrid and definitely help them shore up that back line that has been conceding too much. And he actually did get an assist on his debut. So both him and Rudiger like to play the long ball over the top from the back. So I look at Raul Asensio to also get you some stats that you might not expect. And again, a good bang for your buck too.
There you go.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys. So those are our fantasy picks going into 2025. These are the players we're going to kind of build our team around. We got to spend our credits wisely, and so do you if you want to join our league, 5-a-side league in the fantasy app. Remember, whoever wins the league at the end of the season can get some insane prizes. So make sure you join.
Speaking of insane prizes, Kvara just got an insane prize. A giant salary increase
Huge bag.
to move from Napoli to PSG. I believe he was one of the lowest players on Napoli, making around 1 million euros a year, and now he's getting up to 17 million euros a year. So there's been a little bit of debate of, do you owe more to the fans of Napoli, this and that? Are you kind of being but I've seen other Napoli fans saying, well, you won us our first Scudetto in 33 years, or a part of it. You were undervalued in terms of marketplace. We understand you going to PSG. Mostly it's been positive reaction, but of course you got the Napoli fans throwing the thing in the trash, whatever. But yeah, it's interesting. What do we think? I think definitely get the pay raise because he's worth way more than the 1 million euros. But it is an interesting time because he has not been at his best since they won the Scudetto. So we'll see what he does for PSG. But I think he's going to revive his career.
I mean, he's still young. He's still very young.
Yeah, he is very
and
young.
I think it's good for him market-wise because it's very possible that Georgia could be going to their first World Cup.
Because the expanded format
very,
too.
Very possible.
Yep.
So I think it's good for him to be in a huge market like Paris.
Yeah.
Because he was making a mil. The reason why he was making so little was because Napoli signed him actually as a result of the war between Russia and Ukraine. The reason why Napoli was able to sign him for as little as they were was because he was playing for a Russian club at the time. And the Russian club went like close to bankrupt because the league stopped. And so they were able to bring in this like super talented unknown Georgian player for next to nothing.
And for a low salary too.
For a very
not just the
low
transfer of the salary.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so he's been undervalued. He's been one of the more talented players in Europe, in the world for the past 2.5 years. Yes, maybe this season he wasn't doing so well, but still incredibly talented. And he doesn't fit Conte's system, let's be honest.
Yeah.
He doesn't fit Conte's system.
Yeah.
So good for him. A long history of Napoli players going to PSG and doing well. Cavani, Lavezzi. I think there's a couple more, but those are the two that come to mind. I just think that it's a shit league. So, that's
what a lot of people.
It's a bit of a shit league, unfortunately.
And the thing is, they're not looking too good in the Champions League either, Paris.
Yeah. And he can't play for them until they get to the next round, actually.
And those laws and that. Yeah, because they're in the same table. Wow. I forgot about that.
A lot of the I think it'll be great confidence wise and marketability wise to like Paris.
Yeah.
But
competition.
I don't know the last time we saw like a young club to PSG and their career gets better.
No.
That's very true.
I don't think I can name one.
Other than Mbappe. Well, he didn't go from big club though, my bad. Yeah. And he's also Mbappe.
An outlier.
Yeah. Very true.
Kolomuani, flop. Renato Sanchez, flop.
Nkunku.
Flop.
Zaire Emery's local talent doesn't count. Phenomenal midfielder, by the way. Did Ander Herrera do kind of better going from United? But not really. Fabian Ruiz has been good for Paris. Neymar, Messi, yeah. It's unfortunate, bro. Not great times in Paris, man.
Not, the track record isn't great, but we'll see.
Yeah. Interesting.
Everybody could turn it around. It's you, brother.
Type shit. But you know who turned it around? Conte with Napoli.
Yeah.
Sitting first in Serie A. What you think, Seb?
I told you.
Yeah, Conte ball, man. And shout out Lukaku, too.
His system.
Restoring the feeling.
His system works in Serie A. He has 5 Scudettos with Juve. He understands how to win the league. He understands how to get points. Yeah. They went to Atalanta last week and won 3-2. They were down 2-1.
Huge.
So those boys, Napoli is going to do very well this season. It's possible they could win the league.
Yeah.
Because Atalanta is competing in 2 competitions, 3 actually.
And they're 7 points behind them looking at.
So
yeah.
No, I think Napoli has a shot at the league again, which could be really cool for them. And I think if they manage to bring in one more player, like one more piece, especially because they just got 70 million from PSG.
Yeah.
I wonder what star they're going to look to bring in. People were saying Garnacho, which I don't think is enough.
Yeah.
I don't think that makes sense. I think if you got 70 mil, invest it.
Yeah.
But people are also saying Rashford. I don't think that makes sense.
No.
Again,
That's a gamble. That's a gamble.
Invest it. 70 mil is a lot of money right now on the market.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know where they need to strengthen themselves because Lukaku is such a good striker for the Serie A.
Yeah.
But I guess they need another left winger. And
who's gonna start there now? Do you know?
Politano and Neres.
Okay.
Kind of,
Shout out Neres too.
Neres is good. I don't know. Left wingers on the market. One could look at Heung-min Son.
Be a very interesting move.
There's no rumors. I just made that up.
Yeah.
That could be interesting.
I just feel like if he's gonna leave Tottenham, he's gonna go to like a big splash type of club.
I think he'd enjoy Naples.
I think he would.
True. I think he'd enjoy Naples. I think they'd love him.
It might be time to leave pretty soon, bro. 15th place, and he's a very talented guy. He's getting a little older.
Guys, I have an insane.
Speaking of Serie A,
Yeah.
Lazio, full of controversy. Always look up their history, but they have some new history.
Look up their history.
No, you should
No,
be
you should.
informed.
You should.
Absolutely look up their history. I always tell y'all Google's free. That eagle means a lot,
Okay.
and they used to have an SS in their name. But Lazio, talk to us. And you're wearing the colors, by the way, and you got a bird on your chest. Hold
Would
on.
you mind?
Hold on,
the
sir.
wide for this one? So I want us to be on the wide for this one because I want us to pay close attention to Kendrick's face because he hasn't seen this story.
That's true. I'm still gonna laugh too.
So
'cause
I'm going to read you the headline. Lazio Falconer fired after sharing photos of prosthetic penis. So basically, Lazio on their badge has an eagle. They have a little bit of a fascist history, a little bit of a history around this eagle, and so they traditionally have kept a falcon or an eagle in the club as like a pre-match ritual. So they have someone who handles the falcon, and he releases the falcon at the beginning of games, and it's kind of like a tradition for them. The falconer at Lazio, the former falconer, his name is Juan Bernabe. We'll put a photo of him here.
Damn, no.
Come on, Juan.
Juan Bernabe accidentally I don't know if it was accidentally because he doesn't actually take it back. Posted a photo of a prosthetic implant in his penis on his Instagram story and was fired for this. Lazio released a statement saying that Lazio is shocked to see the photographic and video. Oh, he also posted a video. Photographic and video images of Mr. Juan Bernabe and read the statements that accompanied them and announced that it has interrupted with immediate effect all relations with this individual, given the seriousness of this behavior. Bernabe responded.
Wait.
And he said, I had the surgery to increase my sexual performance because I am a very active sexual person.
Okay.
My erection is normal, but with this device, when I press a button, it allows me to be perfectly in control of both my erection and my duration.
Nigga got settings on it. That's crazy. Yeah.
He was then asked if he believed.
How much time we got?
This is not real.
Turn that to dial 7. What?
This is not real.
Crazy. It is real. That's the problem.
He was then asked.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He was then asked if he believed
He
that
never heard of
posting
him?
a photo and a video was acceptable because it was on his social media accounts. And he said, I do not find anything wrong with this. Absolutely not. I've never regretted anything, and I do not regret this. I certainly do not regret doing something that has a medical purpose. For me, nudity is normal. I grew up in an open-minded family of naturists. I don't understand what's pornographic about the photo. He also said that working for Lazio has made him feel more masculine and actually pushed him to do this penile implant.
You have the fascist context to add that they were okay with previously?
In what sense? No, please.
So he got fired for showing off his penile implant.
Yes, but
he had done like I gotta look it up, but he had did like a
lie.
fascist salute or something, and they was like totally calm with it. They think this is worse.
Oh.
The same guy.
Well, I'm confused because
Oh, also you forgot to mention that he barricaded himself at the training facility after he got fired for posting the explicit photos.
with his penis implant.
he was crying.
So he lives at the training facility. He barricaded himself like, nah, y'all not gonna get me, bro. And you haven't seen what he looks like, so here you go.
He was crashing out. All right, I have thoughts. I don't think they should have fired him.
Oh. Okay.
When you first started telling the story, I thought you were gonna say he posted it on the Lazio Instagram, and that's when I would.
Lazio Instagram is
That's when I'm
very,
like, he's wild,
very
but like-
nuts.
On his personal?
You can't post your meat on your personal page.
I mean, I think you can.
right?
I think you can.
Like Instagram should take it down and say you violated community guidelines. But why is your employer like, well, I don't know.
Oh, also, it was, watch this too.
Upon second thought.
Bro, and you know what doctor did it? It was the club's doctor. Like the team doctor gave him the implant too. So it wasn't like he went to the third party, whatever, you know what I'm saying, in Rome.
They were aware of his.
Oh, it's the team doctor said, no, I got you, bro. You know, the players need to recover their legs, but you.
And it's also like not his meat. It's a prosthetic. So
no, it's inside his meat. The prosthetic.
Yeah, bro. What do you thought? He's wearing a fucking
It's a pump.
strap
I thought
on?
it was like
It's a pump.
I thought
You thought this nigga posted a strap
I
on?
thought it was like an external joint.
No, it's internal.
He was just like,
Yeah, this is crazy, man.
Very internal.
yeah, you can't post your meat on it. He probably, but this is why I say it should not fired him. He probably meant to. Well, he did
No,
say
he said he
like,
meant to do
it. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe he meant to post on his close friends and he messed up.
So what I was going to say was that Lotito, the owner of Lazio, took a less hard line with Bernabe in 2021 when he was briefly suspended for performing a fascist salute at the end of a match with Serie A rivals Inter Milan.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So he wasn't fired for that, but the penile implant, you gotta go. So, well, the photo of it. I mean, you should have been fired for either one of those offenses, in my opinion. It's a bit crazy, bro. Like you represent Lazio, you should probably know.
I'm trying to think about it though. Like if your coworker posted his meat personal, would you expect him to get fired? Like,
yeah,
like
a lot of that, lawyer, as you should know, is in the laws. Like when you sign the contract to work for corporations, your social media is technically ours. Like it's in the print, low key. It is.
Definitely depends what you, but like I don't know. I don't know about that.
You're also not allowed to. It's against the Instagram rules too.
No, that's what
even
I said.
that
That's
is
what I
like,
said.
yeah.
Instagram should take the post down, but like
I think it's also
job correct for being like, oh, you posted your meat, you don't have the right to work here.
I think for him too, he's kind of a mascot of the club.
Yeah, he's their
That's
falconer.
a bit nuts.
Yeah,
He's their falconer.
And like, yeah, like the kids say, oh, the Falconers here at the game. Little 10-year-old, like that's nuts, bro. Also, fellas, don't post your fucking meat online, bro.
Facts,
don't do that.
We don't need to see unsolicited.
None of that, unsolicited, bro.
But he said, like, he was like, yo, I grew up in a nudist family. Like, is there any cultural relativism or cultural understanding here for that?
But once you go to IG,
to my knowledge,
once you go to IG, we all together though. So you have to like read the room. Always read the room, people.
Yeah.
Always read the room.
Yeah. I'm not trying to defend him. I'm just
maybe he's
No, of course.
maybe his social media is a bubble of nudists.
True, you know the algorithm is it's an echo chamber. It feeds what you want to see. So he might be in the
Maybe
nudist
he was
IG.
like,
He
oh,
didn't know.
Maybe he was
Like,
like,
yo, what you saying fuck me for? Like everybody
Everyone
naked
else
out
is-
here. Yeah. Yo, X got you though. X don't give a fuck. X do not give a fuck. Yeah. That's wild. Well, Serie A, Seb's league, always entertaining.
I have a question.
What's up?
This is about Serie A.
Let's do it.
Serie A is like really black as of late. Like I was making a list on the train. Lukaku, Keane, Thuram at Inter, Leao, Tomori, Dele Alli now just at Como, Balotelli at Genoa, Anguissa at Napoli, Neres at Napoli, Lookman,
Tim Wayne, McKennie, a bunch
African
of guys.
Player
yeah.
of the Year, Magnan, Kyle Walker soon to be at AC Milan, Zapata at Torino, Thuram the little brother at Juventus, McKennie at Juventus, Way at Juventus, Tammy at AC Milan, Lovumbo at Cagliari, and then also there's like a tradition recently of like black players going to Italy and revitalizing themselves. Like Umtiti when he went to Lecce.
True.
Chris Smalling at Roma, Onana at Inter, Osimhen at Napoli recently. Like, so my thing is, as much as Serie A is called a racist league, why is it that there seems to be such a exodus of black players to the league?
I don't know.
Those are
wonder
separate
why.
things though, because Spain got mad black players too. If you look at Barca and
But
Madrid
it's a
and
specific
Atletico.
type, though. It's a specific. At the end of the day, yes, Spain has a lot.
Are you
of black
saying
players,
the revival career vibe?
Yeah.
I think the league is seen as that middle tier of opportunity.
Okay.
That's not like going to somewhere that has the pressures of some of these other leagues, being the Prem in Spain maybe, that have been dominating Europe for the most part. And it's a tier below overall, it's in the last decade or so, but not France where it's considered like I'm kind of dropping down.
Okay.
So I think same way Bundesliga can sometimes be seen as like this is a strong competitive league, place to get back some confidence. I think Serie A is similarly in that kind of tier, maybe separate from Spain in England in terms of the last 15-ish years in big club success Champions League kind of vibe. I think that's probably a big part of it. And a lot of those teams too, Serie A hasn't had like a clear best team the last 5 years or a clear second place. So I think there's been a lot of instability in a good way to allow somebody who can jump right in and get going like that, rather than having this very set lineup that really doesn't change, and then you have to slowly kind of work your way in there. I think Serie A has been given a good opportunity for that. That's my analysis. And I think racism is a little down in the league, right? I hope.
No.
Damn.
I can't say. I can't.
Damn. I was just being hopeful.
Down.
I'd be a hopeful guy. I'm okay on my shirt.
I think it's interesting. Like,
Yeah.
Lukaku has come back 4 times.
It's good to see. He got to stay at this point because, bro, every time you leave, yeah.
I don't know. It was like, for the amount of like bad press that the league gets from like a racial perspective.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of it's very common for black players to join, and like black players, all of these black players know each other well. And so it's very common for them to talk to each other and to communicate with each other. And the advice still seems to be, pull up, come play.
But I feel like there's a bit of like, because the environment is so hostile, like we're about to join this league and just lock in, bro.
Could be.
Yeah.
Like we're not about to be going out because we know the press gonna cover us every night. We're not about to be like doing certain activities that you might get away with in other leagues, but like we're about to just train.
I'd push back and say that the Serie A seems to be the league with the most black players doing the most like off the field stuff. With Leao making his music, Moyes making his music, Thuram brothers.
But it's like they're locked into their craft
as well.
Like exactly, like Moise Keane isn't out partying; he's in the studio working.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know though, because I feel like if you're gonna be caught partying, the worst league to be in is the Prem.
Yes.
AKA look at Marcus Rashford's life, Sancho's life,
sure.
Kyle Walker's life, all these guys' life, Jack Grealish, whoever.
For sure.
So I would say I know what you're saying, but I feel like England, a lot of these guys are leaving the Prem, which is that worst vibe, to Italy, where it's safer to do that. But you're all right. In Italy, they're not doing it, where they were getting called out in Spain.
Or they are doing it and are not getting called out by the media.
Yeah, or like there's less.
To be honest,
there's
Italy,
less of a tabloid culture, right?
There is tabloid culture, but it's not a story.
But not as much to as
famous soccer player is partying in Italy. That's not a story for the Italian media. No one's gonna be like, what? He was partying?
Well, Italy and Spain, for example, are far less conservative when it comes to nightlife and partying and drinking all that kind of stuff. So it's a big thing. It is an interesting point, though, for sure. Another good league for getting your confidence back. Exactly, the Bundesliga.
Yes.
A lot going on there.
Yeah, a lot.
Marmoush headed to Man City. Beautiful farewell moment for Frankfurt, who produces a lot of strikers, sub.
Yeah.
A lot of strikers.
So our friends at the Bundesliga kind of wanted us to talk about the Bundesliga as a league that almost like incubates and then produces talent, and Frankfurt specifically. So I have a list here of some of the strikers that Frankfurt has recently had at their club and then sold on. Andre Silva, Luka Jovic, Sebastian Haller, Randall Kolomuani, and now, most recently, Marmoush. Marmoush is set to be joining Manchester City anytime, any day now. It might be official already.
Yeah, it is official because you already said goodbye to the fans. Yep.
And so it's an interesting thing that German football is like proud to be this incubator of talent, because it means that they know that their league produces and nurtures talent. And that's really fun to watch, because it's cool to see people like be in a place where they have the space to grow and become the next stars of football. And it's interesting that there are specific teams that specialize in doing that.
Yep.
And they not only specialize in doing that with players in general, but also at positions specifically.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a striker, going to Frankfurt is like a perfect situation for you, because they have, it's now 6 players.
Yeah.
That they've sold for almost like 3 times, 4 times the amount that they had them at before. And they have gone on to do incredible things. Kolomuani perhaps is like having a bit of a tough season, but he's not going to Juventus. He's a French international at the end of the day.
Yep.
I don't know. What do you guys think of the concept of having a club that specializes in producing a specific position as efficiently as they do? They're 6 for 6.
I think it's really smart, because what you're doing is, as you mentioned, you're building a brand within your team.
Yep.
So if you are that young player who's looking for a club to go to, seeing what Frankfurt has been able to produce with these types of strikers is saying that I can go there and be a similar thing.
Yep.
And it's also, they're comfortable with the fact that this might not be your final destination, and are comfortable with nurturing you and allowing you to go somewhere else. But also from a business standpoint, that helps these clubs remain in the green, because they know they can find the young talent for less money, or potentially through the youth academy, and then produce the big sale, which keeps them in better financial standing, which is something that's a bit more common in German football maybe than other leagues. So I think Frankfurt's a great example of that.
I think the point that you just made about them being comfortable, I want to pass it off to you. You sent us the video in the Instagram group chat of Marmoush celebrating. don't see that often.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you
There's
wanna
no
speak
bad
on
blood,
that
Yeah,
vibe.
exactly. There's no bad blood. And I was going to say, it kind of creates this environment at the club of like, we're all here to support each other, to grow together and get better together.
Yep.
Like, it's less of like pressure on, oh, we need to go win the league right now. And more so like, we're all in this to improve each other and work on each other's game. Because when you saw Marmoush, the farewell, he's standing in front of the crowd. Everybody's cheering him on. He's getting emotional. He's like turning around to like stop the cheer, and his teammates are like, "Nah,
Yeah.
you're not done yet. Go back and get your applause." It just goes to show like the camaraderie that type of mentality builds, because it's like literally we're all in this together. Like when one of us makes it and gets kind of that big transfer to a big club, it's like a product of everything that we did together. So it creates a beautiful environment, and you can see it in the way that they play with each other. There's so much chemistry. There's so much energy. There's so much excitement. Whenever someone scores, everybody's smiling, everybody's excited. Like it just creates that camaraderie.
And they're not the only club that does it. Like Dortmund, we've seen that same vibe. Like
Dortmund's insane.
Dembele, Haaland, Bellingham, even
Isak
Pulisic
now.
recently, Isak.
Pulisic is crazy.
And yeah, I think like
Lewandowski even.
Lewandowski, Hummels,
Yep.
Götze,
Sancho
too.
They're
So
a club
much,
that
bro.
produces talent as well. And so,
Kagawa,
and there's another club where bad blood hasn't really been a thing, aside from, of course, the Dortmund Bayern transfers, which is a little odd.
Yeah.
But when Bellingham left, even when they lost the league, there was no bad blood.
Yeah, facts.
There was no boo.
And he didn't even play.
He didn't play.
He
that
was
last
injured.
game.
He was injured.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember watching that game. That was such an insane end to the season.
Yeah,
that was so insane.
But yeah, I just think from a cultural perspective, it's extremely respectable to like support players that are like moving on and being like, yeah, you're one of our own and we're proud of you.
Yeah.
That's a mentality that I really respect. That's not common. Like other leagues can be a little weird.
Yeah.
We don't have to name names, but other leagues can be a little bit weird. When
For sure.
when their players, when their star players or their leave. Even St. Pauli has like a little interesting tradition. Marmoush and Gyökeres were there.
And
So
it also kind of shows like the respect that fans have and kind of like the worldly mentality that their fans have. Where they're comfortable with the idea of like, oh yeah, like my favorite player is playing in Spain.
Yeah.
Like he started at my club.
It's okay.
I'm proud.
Yeah.
And I can like say that I identify with him. We claim him. Like that's that's something that we had a part of.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it shows that they're exposed to the world and comfortable with like the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Bundesliga being exposed to the world, the other thing is that the Bundesliga has a really, really rich tradition of January transfers. It's kind of like I haven't seen people speak about this often, but the Bundesliga tends to do a lot of their big business historically in January. I have another list of some of the major transfers that have come into the Bundesliga in January.
Crazy.
Lewandowski, this is a caveat, he agreed to a contract in January, but for Bayern Munich, Lewandowski, Sule, Alphonso Davies coming from Vancouver Whitecaps to Bayern Munich, Sancho, who came on loan and then took them to the Champions League final at Dortmund. Haaland came from Salzburg in January. Isak came from AIK from Sweden in January. Pulisic was promoted to the Dortmund first squad in January. Leipzig brought in Upamecano, Angelino, Dani Olmo, Tyler Adams from New York Red Bulls. Leverkusen brought in Guardado, Frimpong, Leon Bailey in January. Wolfsburg brought in Kevin De Bruyne and Osimhen from Nigeria in January.
Wow.
Freiburg, Vincenzo Grifo, who's a Freiburg legend. Werder Bremen, Delaney. Augsburg, Danso, they promoted him. And so I just think it's like an interesting caveat in the league that they are very, very, very known for their January transfers being impactful. I don't know what you guys think about the January transfer window, and we don't necessarily have to speak about the Bundesliga specifically.
Yep.
But it's a time when players can be promoted, as we saw with Pulisic and Danso. It's a time when big signings can be brought in, but it's also a time when like smaller, more obscure players can be brought in, like a Kevin De Bruyne from Genk, or like a Victor Osimhen from a club in Nigeria, or like, I don't know, Haaland from Salzburg. These are players that are not yet proven on the world stage. You bring them in January, and they end up being like club legends.
Yeah.
But generally, your club legends you sign in the summer. So what do you guys think about this, I guess, oddity in the league?
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense. Like, at the end of the day, you have 2 transfer windows, and why not take biggest advantage of both of those?
Yep.
So if you're mid-season and you feel the need to bring in a new striker, maybe you need a new keeper, center back, midfield, whatever position is, the January transfer window gives you that chance to kind of, okay, review our first half of the season. What do we need to be better for the second half of the season?
Yep.
It allows you to be a lot more proactive and not wait a full year to be able to make those transfers. And sometimes maybe it's not even the signing, as you said, it's bringing up the youth academy players. Maybe you've seen somebody in the first half of the season for the U23s, U17s, just absolutely balling out, and you need a little bit of extra domestic cup depth. That's when you bring in somebody like that. Or maybe you're also alive in the European competition. You need to bring in some added depth, and that's when you see the young guys given a chance. So I think it makes sense, and I think it shows the league is just taking every advantage they can to use those opportunities. So
yeah, I feel like it proves that Bundesliga teams adapt. It shows that like includes loans too. Like I feel like people sleep on like players that are on loan. How much that can change the team.
It's true.
Sancho United last was a big part of the reason why they made the final. We see that teams know adjustments, and it's a testament to their scouting.
Bundesliga fans, if there is a club or a January signing that is like very, very meaningful to you, let us know in the comments. Also, let us know what clubs of yours should make signings this window. Let us know who you think they should pick up. Last thing about the Bundesliga, one last interesting fact is that the second division in Germany right now has, I don't know how I would put this. The second division in Germany right now has something that I think all leagues would be very proud of, but for a second division to have this is kind of insane. Schalke is the 10th most attended club in the world at the halfway mark of the season. So they have out of all
the entire world?
Out of all the clubs in the world. Out of all the clubs in the world, Schalke is 10th with, I will get you the exact stat.
I thought you meant in Germany.
No.
That is an amazing stat.
An average attendance of 61,259 people in their home stadium. That is 10th.
You know what that tells me? It shouldn't have been relegated.
Yes.
Like what?
They are in the bottom half. At the time of recording right now, they're in the bottom half of the table in the second division in Germany, pulling in 61,000 people on average. Second in the second division is Hamburger SV with 55,000 every match week, and they're first. But both of these clubs are in the second division. And then you have clubs like FC Köln, Hertha, and then like there's a whole slew of clubs that are like above 30,000 in the second division. There's no other second division in the world that pulls in pulls in fans like that. And the other thing about the second division this season is that there are 12 clubs in the second division in Germany that have won the league in the first division.
Yeah.
Some of these clubs have won Champions Leagues, Europa Leagues. They've won like I saw something that said that every single major European tournament has a winner that is in the second division in Germany right now, which doesn't exist in any other league. I don't know, what does that say to you guys about like the place that German soccer is in and how it like, yes, you have these lower level clubs that are in the second division, but they're playing 60,000.
I got two things. One, for your stat about how many of them have won the first division, shows the parity of German football and just shows how deeply competitive it is. And I think the reason it's been able to historically be so competitive and have probably more league winners than all the other top leagues as well is due to the 50+1 rule with the fan ownership, which allows for just a bit more control of the locals, which I think also, I know there's no salary cap, but in some ways it creates one because you can't just be bought out by especially foreign wealth. So I think that's a major reason why you've seen so many different teams at that level of success. And then I also think it's the stadium culture in Germany, having the infrastructure to have so many amazing stadiums. And then the fan culture of that, even though we've been relegated, we're getting 60K in the stadium, even though we're probably not being promoted this year, which shows just how diehard they are for their team. Because if you remember Schalke, back in the day in the Champions League, because I'm a Real Madrid fan, Real Madrid playing them, they had Raul from Real Madrid, Klaas-Jan Huntelaar, who was a phenomenal Dutch striker. They had players like that. They were, Leroy Sané came from there. That is a legit German club, and they're in 13th place in the second division. It's crazy to see.
One thing I want to add about like stadium culture is that Union Berlin right now is rebuilding their stadium.
I remember that,
And so I think the Signal Iduna Park has the most standing room in the world in terms of stadiums. Okay, like they have the biggest stadium in Germany, but they also have the biggest standing only section in the world in terms of stadiums, the Yellow Wall, which is super famous. The Union Berlin is rebuilding their stadium. They're not going the traditional route of like expanding and modernizing and going from like whatever it is they have to like a 60,000 seater stadium. They're capping it at 40 or 50,000, but they're expanding their standing room to 35,000.
That's nuts.
So they're going to have 35,000 standing room only space, which will make them one of the more like normal size stadiums in Europe with by far the largest standing room for any stadium in the world.
And especially percentage. That's going to be intimidating.
I don't know what that means in terms of atmosphere to have 35,000 people standing for the entire game, but
Kendrick, we went to the Old Trafford. This is a little throwback. Remember we went to Old Trafford and the bridge?
Yeah.
But the bridge being that smaller stadium tight on top of you actually felt more intimidating. So,
definitely.
yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. That's
But
nuts.
that's the Bundesliga round table, I guess.
Absolutely nuts. Couple other quick topics. One, we talked about Neymar before, maybe not being accepted back to Palmeiras. Not back to Palmeiras, but back to Brazil. The bad comment from the Palmeiras medical director. But now the rumor is that Neymar Jr. will be returning to Brazil and to his childhood club of Santos. Rumor. It sounds like it could be happening.
Could we talk about him coming to America?
I'm talking about both.
Okay. I don't think he should go to Brazil.
Talk to
I
me.
don't think that's good for his legacy.
Okay.
I think he's too fragile of a player right now in terms of his body to handle the Brazilian league.
Do you think they'd respect him and not chop him up?
I do not think so.
I've been waiting to chop you my whole life, bro. Little teenagers.
I do not think so.
Yeah.
The Brazilian league is like one of the more physical leagues.
No, it is. Yeah.
And like that's not a league where players are just trying to chill. Players are trying to make it out that league. And so defenders are not trying to just like take it easy. And,
Is he trying to chill? How do you know?
I mean, I don't think
he's
trying
saying
to,
he can't afford.
I'm not saying he's trying
Okay.
to chill.
With his
I'm just
injury
saying
issues, I got
it's
you.
more so his legacy, like being in front of his people and just like.
Oh,
not-
you think he could like crash out negatively? Like
I don't think it would be good for his legacy. I think he should chill and I think he should go on vacation with the Miami boys.
that ain't vacation. They ain't win no trophy yet. Besides the League's Cup
It's
the first
vacation.
year.
They play half as many games as they play.
And they not winning the MLS Cup
No,
till they
that's my
figure
point.
something out.
But no one cares.
Oh, what? Messi trying to win.
That's a little.
Messi was trying to fight Guzan and all that.
But in this country, in America, the average person is
You're
not
saying
saying.
reputational.
Yeah, it doesn't affect your. If Neymar goes to Inter Miami and doesn't win a trophy, no one is going to be like.
No, but he
"Well,
has to
went
play
a-"
well.
Does he even?
Bro, do you know that, listen, the hater energy of sports is like one of the biggest hater energies to ever exist on planet
I
Earth.
agree with Seth,
If
though.
he does not cook anywhere he goes
Sure,
next,
but
he's going to be hated.
I
I don't
have
think-
worried.
I
I'm
don't
not
think that's
worried
true.
for him in the MLS.
Yeah.
Now, I will agree. If you like fail like you look like the old uncle on the pitch in Brazil,
Yeah.
is way
It's
worse
way
for you. It is
worse.
way worse. I agree there.
Like
I'm just saying he'll get cooked regardless. He needs to succeed. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with you actually.
I don't think
feel
it makes
I
sense.
feel like Suarez, Busquets, Messi,
Yeah.
them not winning was not as big. I have been elsewhere.
I mean,
Oh, I agree. No, I agree on
People
that. I
were
agree.
not, like slamming, saying
Yeah.
like, "Oh, Suarez, his legacy is."
Oh,
ruined."
no.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
No.
I feel like people just like the fact that
The
they
vibe.
I do think
see them
those
playing together.
those guys are a little bit older, and we do have less of a what if about all of their careers.
Yeah.
There's no what ifs with Messi or Suarez or Busquets or Jordi Alba. Neymar's been Mr. What If since he left Barca.
It's true.
And then especially not winning the Champions League with Paris. And then the Saudi thing really did not work out. People are ready to
Rip.
pile on the hate a bit more. So
Sure, but I don't think anyone is.
but also Neymar's the type of guy, high risk, high reward. The risk of Brazil is bigger, but if you succeed in Brazil,
Yeah, if he
the
carries-
beauty of that is
carries that
so
team
much
to a
more.
title, that'd
That
be
will mean way more than anything in
That
MLS.
would
Yeah.
be crazy.
Now, selfishly, I want him to be on New York City FC when we open the new stadium in Queens. That'd be, oh my, could you imagine? Oh, I would be there front row,
Yeah.
doing content, everything. Selfishly, that's what I want. But for his career, if he can ball out in Brazil, that'll mean more. It'll
I
be more. But the risk is higher
It's too much.
because they'll be ready, bro. They'll be ready to hate.
Do that.
Yeah.
Talking about risk.
Mm.
Did y'all hear about Tamsworth FC, the third division?
That played Tottenham?
Take it away.
Amazing
So-
story.
Basically, there's a club in England called Tamsworth FC. They are, in terms of their ranking, they're 96 places below Tottenham, which is in the first division. Tamsworth, I don't even know what division.
They're non-league football,
Yeah,
which is
they're-
technically the fifth
They're
division.
non-league, like
Yeah.
not paid. Like the salary, combined salary of Tottenham Hotspurs is over 600 million. The combined salary of Tamsworth is zero. Euros. And they faced off in the third round of the FA Cup recently. And for about 80 minutes of the game, they were tied.
90, they went to overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were tied for a majority of the match. And the talking point of the match is that Tamsworth, all of the players have other jobs.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, they're not able to support themselves for playing for this team.
Right.
So the team is consisted of university professors, plumbers. One dude works at Zara during the day, like all types of jobs. And yet they were able to keep up with and almost, upset one of the top teams. And so that story is already crazy enough.
Yeah.
But I just had me thinking, like, what would be the equivalent West
In soccer or other sports?
in anything?
I would say it would be like, it would have to be, I mean, soccer and literally would have to be like a USL 2 sort of thing
Yeah.
with against Inter Miami or something like that.
Which is possible.
But
we have the
exactly, which is kind of the beauty of soccer
Yeah.
that
You
you
can never
in the
see a story like
domestic
that.
cup.
Yeah.
That's why it's so cool. In the domestic cup, you're bringing together literally 4 or 5 leagues in every country where we have crazy stories. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? In the US, it would be like, because we only have the G League in the NBA. It'd be like if there's a G, H, and I, and then an L League. And in the L League, which is like mid-level college players, somehow got to OT with the Lakers with LeBron on. You know what I mean? Like we can't,
what it is.
you can't fathom it in American
story doesn't
sports.
exist.
But
That's what's so cool.
insane.
You can't fathom it in American
Have you
sports.
guys ever seen those videos of when teams like that are like watching the draw? And
Oh yeah, they celebrate.
and they
It's crazy.
Celebrate because they're about to play a big team.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll see comments and people are like, "Why would you celebrate when you're like
So stupid.
Why would you celebrate?"
And you get in a bag for it too, actually.
like a lot of players, a lot of people will comment when they see a smaller team or a non-league team when they get drawn against a big club, celebrate, and they'll be confused. But the reason is you get a chance to show yourself in the world stage, and then stories come out about you like that. So of course you celebrate.
And it's huge financially for the clubs. And what's interesting about England too, they recently took away the FA Cup replays.
Replays,
So what would have happened is because that game was going to go to overtime in the 90 minutes, they would have had to play again the reverse fixture, which financially is huge for the non-league and League 2 type of teams. So a lot of people are very upset that actually, why didn't you, we need to reinstate the replays, send them back. Now they have to go to the Tottenham Hotspur Football Stadium, which would be huge financially for them. Of course, it's annoying to have another fixture for Tottenham. But that replay had a lot of value for those low league teams. That's one more game on TV when you're never on TV.
I'm just imagining like my friends.
This is like us playing Chicago Fire,
Yeah,
bro.
like
Like what?
I have a second job, and I'm also
My friends who play ball at YMCA.
Literally.
That's what it
now they in the garden.
But that's the problem with America is that you don't have that.
You don't have those stories.
it. So it,
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I agree, and that's kind of why I asked the question because I'm like, I think it would be amazing if in basketball and football and baseball we had more opportunities for folks who like, you know, either couldn't afford to go to like AAU
That's the
basketball,
thing,
or didn't have
Ooh.
the opportunity to
I have
go
an
to
idea.
college or do those things.
Yeah.
And so they couldn't go pro, but like there's still talent. And you know, maybe they're an elementary school teacher, or
Yeah.
maybe they're, you know, teaching a gymnastics class, but they actually have insane athleticism, and you put them all together, and they'll actually beat the New York
Bro,
Knicks
let's
at
do it.
Madison Square
Yo,
Garden.
look at me. Hey, Adam Silver, NBA Cup. Open it up to the G League.
Facts.
Let's do it.
Facts.
Y'all want to be like footy? Like, come on.
One last question from me.
Yes.
It's a hypothetical. You guys made me think about it.
Let's do it.
Would you never play a soccer game ever again in your life, a pickup soccer game ever again in your life, or every soccer game that you play for the rest of your life, you lose?
Bro.
I'm never playing pickup again.
Really?
Yeah, I can't lose forever, bro. That's insane.
So you'd never play soccer again?
Fuck it. Basketball, tennis, American football, track,
I didn't expect
workout,
that.
all types of shit.
I mean, I don't know. You're a Madrid fan.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to lose.
He's a real
I'm a Knicks fan.
It's true.
I am a New York Knicks fan.
So
I
you'd
know
never-
how to lose.
You would never play the sport of soccer again because you'd lose every
Well, here's my thing. Are we just doing like casual pickup and I just always lose?
Yeah, you always lose. No matter what.
That's kind of hilarious, actually. That's kind of very funny.
No, but let me add this. You always lose.
Is it
if it's close.
competitive?
Yeah, it's competitive, and you lose every time.
No, I can't do that, bro.
I'll
just play basketball.
I'll take the loss. I'll take the loss for the camaraderie.
It's true. That's kind of funny.
Fans.
Nah, that's actually very funny. And it'll keep you humble. Nah, I'm going to lose every game. Fuck it. Let's do it. I'll lose every game.
It was hard for me. I thought about this for a while because I don't like losing.
But I'm
close
trying to
games.
imagine, is it Manhattan FC? Like, it's not super structured, or is it like tournament vibes and every time we fucking lose
add
every
it.
game?
It's a bothersome loss.
Ooh.
I don't get bothered.
But you have been.
You have to be bothered.
Right? Have you ever lost and been bothered?
Yes, yeah, definitely, bro.
Kendrick has never lost.
Nah,
and
I
been
got
bothered,
stories
guys.
about you, bro.
What are you talking about?
Josh, you got all
You're
the
telling me
stories
you've
about
never
you.
lost a game and been annoyed?
Then you're not a winner, nigga.
Talking about.
I mean,
It's not
obviously-
true. You're
obviously-
lying.
Obviously,
That's
when
not
I was
true.
younger, but not like pickup.
Okay, so take that feeling from when you were younger and apply that.
Nah,
Every
we're not doing
single
that. We're
time
not
you
doing
play
that.
soccer,
I'm
it would be
grown.
that.
I'm grown.
No, but take it.
I deserve it all.
I don't know.
That's what he
I
said,
don't
bro.
know
He's
what
a
I
man
do.
in the garden. Let him enjoy his garden, bro.
Like,
Losing close games is annoying in soccer.
I don't give.
Yeah, I don't care. That's why it's also like, yeah, I don't know. I'll lose every game. Fuck it. Let's do it. We gotta play. So 75. One quick
All
song.
winners here.
One quick song. One quick artist. Real quick music. Real quick.
Bad Bunny, I wasn't here last week. I'll shout out.
Phenomenal. Great album. I love the tour in his own country too. Like
yeah.
30 residency. That's fire.
Residency's tough.
Beautiful.
No one thought he was gonna do that. They thought it was gonna be every part of the world. He said, nope, my country. Fire.
La Feb dropped an album that's like 50 songs long. Basically like unreleased songs from the last 2-3 years.
Got you. Larica, Pressure, R&B singer in the UK. Larica, very, very fire. Also dropped the track T's Right. He's got a bright future. Let's do it. Episode 75, starting off 2025.
Arrivederci.
Bye.